today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Spooky Empire, even though it's been almost a month since Spooky Empire, almost a couple of days, like a couple of days away from being exactly a month since I went to Spooky Empire. And this shirt, if you guys haven't seen it already, is the iconic shirt that Gillian Anderson wore to the panel and auctioned off. Just quick disclaimer, I did not design this shirt. I will link the gal who had designed this shirt. I believe her name is Ginger. I don't know her last name, but I believe you can buy this on her Redbubble or TeePublic. I bought it off TeePublic, so I will include those links below if you would like to buy this shirt. Go ahead and support her page. That would be awesome. This is actually not the same exact shirt that I had given to Jillian. I actually went and bought another one after I had given it to her. So what happened was on Twitter a few days before the con, Gillian Anderson had tweeted out a post asking for t-shirt recommendations that she could wear to the con and later auction off. And what I didn't know at the time was that at previous cons she had done this a few times before. I actually didn't really notice that until I went back and watched a few old panels from other cons. I guess at every con she will choose a t-shirt from a fan and auction it off for her charity, which I believe is Say Yes. With the craziness from Spooky Empire, I probably should talk to you guys about that first before I start talking about all this shirt stuff. So anyway, this shirt she ended up choosing, I think on Friday, the first day of Spooky Empire. She had chosen this shirt along with another one, and then they had sex twice. There was a couple of different shirts that were like that. She picked one of them. She picked this shirt and that shirt. And so it was really cool. I was totally blown away. Didn't expect her to pick my shirt. She actually went through and liked a lot of people's posts with their t-shirts. And I know she sent out a little tweet saying that, she really liked everybody's shirts, how funny people were, and things like that. So let me talk to you a little bit about the con craziness. So first of all, I had decided to go to Spooky Empire when it was announced that not only would this be the last year that Gillian Anderson would have cons, but also her and David Duchovny would be at this con. And the last time I had seen them was back in 2011 at the IBG event down in LA. And at that event, I think David had a timing or scheduling conflict, so he couldn't really hang around and do any photographs or autographs. So that was kind of a bummer, but it was him, Gillian Anderson, and Chris Carter. I have a photo op with Gillian Anderson, and I don't think Chris Carter was doing photo ops, but he was also part of the signings. So that was a really fun event. It's been quite a while since I had been to an X-Files related con. I go to a lot of anime cons in my area. I go to mostly Fanime, which is in San Jose, where I grew up, and I've also been to Anime Expo twice. And I had actually managed to sign up and get into San Diego Comic-Con, which is like a lottery system, but I'm going to X-Fest the month before, and I'm also supposed to go to Europe in May, and so I don't think that come July I would have the finances to go to SDCC as well. I ended up not buying any tickets for that, unfortunately. I'll have to try again next year. With X-Fest being in June, which is actually my birthday weekend, with X-Fest being in June and being in Europe for 2 weeks, the finances will allow me to also that's unfortunate. But anyway, I go to a lot of cons, and this is my second time, actually my third time. It's actually my third time going to X-Fest. I also went to X-Fest this past March, and as I said, I'm going again next June. I believe it's the weekend of June 8th. So this is my third time, and I had a lot of fun. When the cast of the X-Files was announced to this con, I had to make it happen. Even though my money and my budget's been really tight, I had to make it happen. My husband had actually gotten a new job during this time, so I had decided that I am going to go alone. And we were initially thinking that, I was thinking maybe buying my husband a general, like a GA pass, and because he's kind of more goes for me. He's a casual X-Files fan. He really likes X-Files, but he's not like, oh my god, fangirl status or fanboy status, like me. So yeah. So he did come to X-Fest, so that was fun. But as I mentioned, he got the job, and I was a little bit nervous, like, well, I really don't want to miss out. It's going to be Gillian Anderson's last con. I didn't really want to miss out on that. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and meet some fans. I'm gonna go and not miss out. So I ended up deciding to go alone. And we were in this Twitter chat for the Orlando Con. So I met a bunch of nice people. And everyone was amazing. I had a great time. But yeah, leading up to that, I was so anxious, so nervous because I'm totally introverted, and I was really nervous about going by myself. So, but yeah, I ended up having a wonderful time. But yeah, leading up to it, I think was probably the worst. Not only meeting Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny, but going by myself, meeting a bunch of new people, and not really knowing anybody. I was so nervous about that. But I had a total blast despite all the con craziness. Yeah, I remember my mom, she's like, oh no, it's not safe for a girl to travel alone, blah, 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 so there was also that drama, and I didn't really want to let that, make me miss out, just because my husband can go, I shouldn't have to miss out. I mean, that's, it's stupid, it's totally safe for women to travel alone as long as, you're using common sense. You're not doing anything stupid, anything like that. So don't be discouraged if you're a woman to travel alone. Just as long as you're taking the right precautions, it will be just fine. And yeah, as I mentioned, the con craziness is what kind of got me. And I myself had a great time. I had purchased a general. Not a GA pass, but I had purchased a general VIP. So it's like a lot of people got the David VIP or the Gillian VIP, which included, I think, a photo and an autograph. But I chose the general VIP because I mostly just wanted to get close seating at the panel and be able to get quickly through lines, which it turns out it was a worthwhile investment at this con. Even though they were super disorganized, it was definitely worth it, because when you got to that con, there were lines of people waiting to get inside with their general admission passes. And the con, I think itself, opened at like 10:30 or 11. And they started Gillian Anderson's, I think, autographs right at 11. So if you had a general admission pass, I think you're pretty much SOL. I heard that a lot of people didn't end up getting their autographs or their photo ops because of the con craziness. And because Gillian Anderson picked the shirt, I had to get my shirt to her before the panel, which was at 2 or 3 or something like that. So I had to give it to her either during the photo op or during the autograph signing. And I barely got to the, because I stayed at the hotel that was right next door to the Carib, and I walked over, so that was super convenient. I heard parking that was fucking atrocious, to put it mildly, for people who stayed at other hotels and were driving over. They had to park really far and walk really far, in addition to staying in all those lines. So I was, really fortunate. I stayed at the hotel right next door, and I just walked over. No big deal. So I got there right at 11, but also they were doing duo photo ops at 11:30. So I was afraid that if I got in that line for Gillian's autograph, that I would somehow miss the duo photograph signings, or the duo photographs that were happening at 11:30. So I just I just ended up going to the photo op line at 11 or 10:30 or whatever time it was I got there. I ended up just going into that line. I met Justine that way. Hi, Justine, if you're watching. Justine Barr was really sweet, so we waited together. I ended up giving Jillian my shirt at her 12:45 autograph signing, which was her next signing before the panel. So we had our duo photo ops, and here's where the drama starts. They weren't allowing anybody to do any poses at all. Basically, all the photos happened within less than 30 seconds, probably like 10 or 15 seconds. They took your stuff and set it to the side, and also if you wanted to buy a digital copy in advance, you'd have to pay cash. I think it was $10 per photo. If you wanted a digital copy, you had to write your email address on there, hand your ticket to someone, hand your digital photo with your email on it card to somebody else. And I just knew that when that happened that it was going to be a disaster. And it was, which I'll get to. But yeah, they rushed us through the photos. We barely had time, to not blink. And my friend really wanted to do her picture where she was, Jillian would hold the baby, and like she had like a little baby doll, and then David had like a little ring, and would hold a ring. And so, but they said no poses, no nothing. And the duo photo op was $200 plus fees or digital photos or whatever. So the $200 photo, you had to smile, and that was it. And I know in her photo Jillian was kind of like doing this look, and I mean, that's Jillian. She's probably being funny or obnoxious, and but she wasn't too happy. My friend wasn't really too happy with the photo that Jillian wasn't looking at the camera, and it was just so rushed. It was in and out. And then we went to Jillian's autograph line, and we were there for a good couple hours waiting in line because Jillian had her solo ops after the duo ops, and we didn't, even though we were in her line for since noon, we were, I think, waiting until close to 2 before she started signing, because her photo ops had run long, and also on top of that, they were selling additional tickets for autographs right in that line. So Spooky Empire had completely oversold this event. Photo ops, autographs. It's like the talent didn't even have time to have a snack, to drink water. I don't think they were even provided water, from what I heard. They didn't have time to do any of that. So yeah, so Jillian Anderson, she came out, she did her signings, and it was very quick. They were telling people online, you can't say anything. You can't say anything to her. I heard that her 11 a.m. because Jillian Anderson, I think, had gotten there at like 10:30, and she started signing early. And for those folks had, they were able to get like personalizations, their name or quotes or whatever. But because of her, the day moved on, they were telling people not to talk to her, 2 words, no personalization except your name. And I think at the very end of the day, they said, not even that, not even your name. And you're paying, these were $100 autographs. And which made me glad that I only bought one from each of them, because I would have been pissed if I couldn't get any personalization and I had bought all these autographs, because that's not typical at cons. Because at cons, you're at least able to get your name. At the very least, you should be able to get your name. And then I guess they wouldn't allow them to take any gifts. My friend had some personalized gifts for Jillian, which Jillian said, I'm sorry, I can't take gifts. She was so upset, she started crying, until Jillian finally said, here, I'll take it. And I know she made a tweet out later that how sorry she was that she couldn't accept gifts, for all the chaos that was caused by Spooky Empire. But yeah, so when I went through the autograph line. I not only waited a couple hours, but Jillian was super sweet. She's very introverted. I noticed like when she's signing, she usually looks down unless you're talking to her. I'm very introverted. She's very introverted. I was just happy for her to sign my item, which I had a picture from my struggle for, and I was able to hand her my Chili shirt so she could wear to the panel, which was right after that. So it was very, very close scheduling. I was, you know, and I actually had Jillian Anderson's Twitter, you know, her Twitter person who reached out to me and asked if I'd be able to give Jillian the shirt. And, so I let them know I had given her the shirt. So I have, you know, I'd given her the shirt, but I wasn't able to get my selfie with her. The prize for Jillian picking your shirt was a selfie with her. She doesn't usually do table selfies. They only do the photo ops. A lot of the other talent, they do table selfies. I think it's like, you know, $40 or $50 or something like that. But David Duchovny and Jillian Anderson don't do table selfies. So the table selfie was a prize for, you know, the people whose shirts she picked. There was somebody else too who had gotten picked. I believe it was All Things Jillian on Twitter. Her name is Gracie. So her shirt had also gotten picked. And then they had Sex Twice shirt. But yeah, so because of that was so rushed, I wasn't able to get my photos. So I'm like, well, this is such complete chaos. When am I going to be able to get this picture? Because Jillian Anderson, David Duchovny were only there for one day. And I had tried telling the staff. I don't know who the gentleman was that was sitting next to her at the autograph table. He had no idea what I was even talking about. You know, he's like, what Twitter contest? What are you talking about? The staff there was totally rude. I can't help you. I have no idea what you're talking. Nobody knew what I was talking about. Nobody. And Spooky Empire is supposedly following all the talent's Twitter pages. Nobody knew what was going on. So I had to get back in line after waiting all that time just to come up again to get my selfie and tell people again what I was there for. And finally, before at the end of that, because everything had run on so long, they had to wait till she was done with the autographs, or that session of autographs, before the panel, like right before the panel, for Jillian to be able to take a selfie with me. So I was not leaving that day without the selfie because, like, what the F, right? So, but Jillian was so nice. She was so sweet. It just made all of that chaos worth it. She had told me once we had taken the picture with my phone, she's like, you know, be sure to post your photo. And I kind of had a feeling that she would tweet out something later, which she did. But she was so sweet. It was just funny because she ended up taking off her she was wearing and then they had sex shirt. She ended up taking that off in front of me, and I'm like, oh my god, right? But yeah, she was wearing a camisole underneath, so like, no, she was not naked or anything. She was, she had and put the Chili shirt on, and we took a photo together. And I was wearing like another shirt, had a picture of them from I Want to Believe. So yeah, we got our photo, and that was really awesome. She was super sweet. And then then I rushed off right after that as Jillian to the X-Files panel. And at the panel, I had gotten there just as it started, so despite being VIP, I did not have very good seats. I couldn't see them. Spooky Empire did not have their projectors working. You know, their mics were scrambled. The mics weren't working. So it was a hot mess, to say the least. And I could barely hear them. And like, how in the hell, you know, they even said that they had less seats than they did for VIPs. So their VIP seating had filled up, but not every VIP had a seat. So how does that happen? So yeah, the panel was really funny. They ended up auctioning, Jillian auctioned this shirt off. I think it was for like $2,500. And it was for Cali Girl Candy. It was the one that ended up, she was the winning bidder, so that was really awesome. And it was Melissa. Melissa had won and then they had sex shirt for $2,100, I believe, and that went to Jillian's Say Yes charity. So that was really awesome. It was a really fun panel. Both David and Jillian were having a great time. I know I think it was at Wizard World, there was a lot of awkwardness, a lot of weird questions and stuff like that. But you know, this panel was great. There weren't any weird questions. There weren't any questions that you hear every single time.
It's awkward enough for you guys.
My friend Teresa had asked what they would name the baby, and she suggested Lily, and Jillian seemed pretty taken with that, so that was really awesome. Jillian had actually suggested, like, kind of jokingly, oh, what about Wilhelmina? You know, and it's funny because I have a friend, my friend Billy. I remember when I had first met her, I'd asked her, is your name Wilhelmina? So it actually brought me back to that. So that was really funny. I was actually thinking of asking a question. I decided not to this time. I decided to let some other folks, you know, ask some questions this time. But I was thinking of asking maybe if they thought the baby was a boy or a girl or something like that. So I'm kind of glad that, I'm really glad that my friend Teresa had asked the question about what they would name the baby. So everybody's headcanon now is, you know, Lily for the baby. That's really cool. And then, you know, Julie Anderson kind of joked around a little bit about, oh, you know, you don't remember when we had sex in the Chili's? Mulder and Scully had sex in the Chili's, you know? So that was really awesome.
So I haven't done this in a while, but, one of the charities that I do some work for is a charity that I co-founded called Say Yes, which is South Africa Youth for Education and Sustainability. And it's a mentor-mentee program in Cape Town that is really changing people's lives. And we're constantly in need of funds and need to fold. But we're still hanging in there. And so I thought that today I would auction, well, we'll see what your enthusiasm is. I'll start with this shirt, and then there's another shirt too. But I think it would probably go quicker if I start with $100. Is anybody interested in bidding on this chili shirt for, you got? Okay, $200. Okay, we got a few 200s. Should I does somebody want to throw out a number and then we can go out from there so that it just doesn't take $400? Yeah, we got a 4. What? $500. $600. $1,000. This is so much quicker. $1,000. Anybody higher than 1,000? $1,200. Anybody? It smells. It already smells. I'm gonna sign it, and I'll take a picture of you of that. $1,500. I mean, it really smells. $1,500. Anybody want to go higher than 15? $1,800. $2,000. I like how this is going. $2,000 to the left. What's your name? Sandy? Mandy? Candy. Your name's Candy. Candy's bidding for $2,000. Anybody want to go higher than $2,000? $2,400? $2,100? 2100. What's your name? Melissa. Melissa B's Candy. Sorry? $2,500. You pay $2,100 for this one, and she can have this one for $25. I think that's a deal. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you. Candy and Melissa, can you join me backstage, please? Thank you very much.
That was really great. And then after that, we did the cast photos. That was after the op. The cast photos were pretty rushed too. Again, no poses. And I was like trying hard not to blink because I know when we were at X Fest, my husband blinked and they were rushing me through those photos. But yeah, if you blink or if there's anything like that, generally they'll let you do it again. So just FYI, if something like that happens in your photo, just be sure to ask them to take another picture, because they were doing it despite the con craziness. So yeah, I had a great time with that. And Sunday we had the Scully Effect panel, and I decided to kind of like look around, do a little bit of shopping in the vendors hall, and that was fun. And then also on Sunday I had the duo op with Annabeth Gish and Robert Patrick. And let me tell you, they're both amazing. They're both so sweet. And also, whenever you're doing a photo op where David and Jillian aren't in, especially Jillian, it is so much more low key. You can do poses and all that sort of thing like that. You can do poses and they're totally fine. It's so much more relaxed. Yeah, so like when I went on Friday, I was also much more relaxed. When they had William B. Davis, they had Annabeth Gish, and Mitch Pileggi and Robert Patrick. And Robert Patrick is so sweet. I know a lot of people say that, oh, he's not really friendly, and that wasn't my experience at all. I remember he was really surprised that people liked John Doggett because Doggett gets kind of a bad rap on X-Files. So he was really surprised, genuinely surprised. I'm like, no, I really like John Doggett. No, he's so sweet. Like, he kind of flirts with you a little bit, so it's really funny. And I remember his panel was on Friday night, and I remember asking, well, where's John Doggett? And he's like, John Doggett is just gone. He moved into the mountains. He's growing weed. He owns a motorcycle club. he was a doll. He was so funny. So great time meeting him, and great time getting a photo op with them both. I didn't really do any table selfies this time because I had already spent so much money, and that cast photo was $500, and I split that with my friend Teresa. So it was like $250 each. So it was a little bit better. But I was like already I was done financially with all these the photo ops. So I know I had gotten some table selfies back in X Fest, so I was happy with that. I did get another one with Mitch. And Mitch was so sweet. He allowed me to give him a hug for our table selfie. And yeah, and he signed some of the items that I had. So he was super sweet. Mitch is so sweet. If you haven't met him at a con, definitely meet him. He is so sweet. As is Annabeth. She is so sweet. I'm really looking forward to X Fest next year because I'm pretty sure that both of them will be there. I'm really hoping for Robert Patrick again. He doesn't really do too many cons. So if you want to get something Terminator T2 signed or X-Files signed, definitely meet him when you can because he doesn't really attend too many cons. Mitch and Annabeth and David have attended quite a bit of cons this year. But yeah, I really hope that they get Robert on for X Fest next year. That would be really awesome. So So yeah, on Sunday, yeah, it was the photo ops are so much more low key, and we were kind of joking on Friday night about the level of chaos that would be on Saturday, which was totally predicted just because of the amount of disorganization. And the thing with the photos, everybody got the wrong photos. So like, not only did we not get our digital photos the same day, people were getting the wrong photos several days later. So it took like at least a week or more for people to get all of their digital photos, because it's like, when you have a digital photo, you should be able to see that, because at XFest, I remember they had all the digital photo ops up within like an hour or two. They had like all the photos up and you could go and download your photo. But Spooky had used a vendor called Froggies, and they used some sort of archaic system where they just email people photos, and it's just like, this many people emailing photos, this is going to be a hot mess. So yeah, people got the wrong photos, and you know, some people, I got my friend's photo, I'm like, hey, here's your photo, and she actually didn't pay for a digital op. So yeah, that was Spooky Empire. I had a great time meeting up with people, especially Larissa's group. Everybody was so friendly, so amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you to everyone else that I had met. I've met so many of you, and I know there's a few people where I like didn't catch names, and I'm sure we're all following each other on Twitter, but I'm awful with names and faces, so I apologize if we met and I didn't have a chance to, you know, to thank you. But yeah, I had a great time, and I was like super nervous about it. So thank you guys for making my experience really awesome, and I hope to see you guys at XFest. And XFest, they had already announced that David and Jillian won't be there, because XFest generally focuses on the supporting cast, because they don't have like all that craziness that comes with having David and Jillian there, because it's a completely different con whenever David and Jillian are there. And I think it's mostly because of Jillian's large following, because when I went to David's book signing back in May, there were quite a few people in the room, but we didn't have all like the chaos. You know, you had more time with him. So if you're able to go to David's, like one of his concerts or one of his book signings, definitely go, because at his book signings, I bought all 3 of his books and I got a signature for free. So I got 3 signatures from David for free at his book signing, and then we had more time with him than we did at Spooky Empire. Although when I had my item signed from him at Spooky Empire, I was able to ask him if he, you know, I tell him that I hope he comes to California soon. But he didn't have a line, unlike Jillian. He didn't have a line at the time. I had gotten his autograph last. But yeah, he didn't have a line, and I had gotten David's autograph later, and I was kind of grateful for that. So I know David told me he because I want him to do like this little quote from season 8, and he told me that he didn't, he told me nicely he didn't really do quotes, and that was fine. But he did write my name, and I know with Jillian, I know like they were hard pressed. Some people just got a signature, they didn't even get a name. I was lucky to have her write my name, and then they had sex. So that was really awesome. I had a really great experience. But yeah, like if you're able to go to one of David's events that is not X-Files, like his concert or his book signing, he will sign his books for free. So, and you will have more time, to say at least a couple of sentences with him, and they don't are able to have a few words with him. So that's really nice. So yeah, as I mentioned, XFest is they more support the supporting cast at their conventions. They're bringing in a lot of like supporting characters like Tina Mulder. I think it was Rebecca Doolin. I think that's what her name was, and like they had like Mr. X last year. They have a lot of like other characters that you would not otherwise see at a con. I mean, you see a lot of David and Jillian, and or Mitch, or or Nick Lee.